Okay, we are live and on the air. Let's do this to this. In 3, 2, 1, and welcome, right-wing crazies and smug left-wingers, to episode 236 of the Nerdstravaganza podcast, where this week we discuss the kind of surprise election of an American president. And we will attempt to put some sort of a nerdy spin on that, even though we might just discuss the surprise election of an American president. I am... You're hearing it here first, folks. Presidential candidate Tom for the next election cycle. Hello.
I'm Brian, y'all.
I'm independent voter Cam.
Undecided independent voter
Yes.
Cam, to whom I'll appeal throughout the episode with my broad-reaching message. And yeah, tonight we're going to be talking about Trump getting elected. But first, let's try to think of a Trump-related way to put this. Let's wind back the clock to before the election and discuss what happened before everything changed.
To remember the good old days?
Yeah, there you go. When this was still the America I loved. With our weekly update. Citizen Cam, what were you doing besides working hard to get your favorite candidate elected?
I was doing a lot of stuff. I have the future in-laws in town this week, so I was, been spending some time with them. Went this past weekend to see 2 movies, actually. I haven't seen a movie in a little while, and went and saw The Girl on the Train, because I had read the book. I think I mentioned that in my update last week. And my fiance had also been reading the book, or we've been listening to the audio book together. And we both liked it so much we went and saw the movie. Pretty good. Wasn't, obviously it wasn't the book, but it was a decent interpretation, and Emily Blunt was like the main character, and I think she's awesome, so that was good. Then the next day I took my mom and my fiance to see Doctor Strange. Which was pretty awesome.
How was that? I've heard critics say it doesn't live up to the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
No, it was good. I thought it was really good. It was very Inception-esque. It wouldn't surprise me if whoever did Inception did that movie, because it was so super, super similar in terms of like the special effects and things like that. But it was good. It wasn't a Guardians of the Galaxy but it was it was good. Did some. Went to a child's birthday party. Which was Vaughn, our buddy of ours from the Adventure Game Store. He had his 1-year-old. His 1-year-old turned 1 this past weekend, and he also has a stepdaughter who's 10. So they had the 1st and 10 party on Sunday. So that was nice, and yeah, that's it. Nothing really too geeky other than just listen to that book, and been entertaining in-laws.
Okay, sounds like a pretty busy week, and I'm glad to hear that you get along with your future in-laws. That's
they're awesome. Yeah,
they're
really cool.
Mine are cool too, as it turns out. So glad to hear it.
It's always good. It always helps for sure.
For audience members listening live, before we've had the benefit of editing, there is a dog joust going on near my right here in the room where I'm trying to do a podcast, it turns out. So I apologize for that. You guys want to take it to the next room, maybe? Hey, get out of here. Could you guys?
I thought that was Trump protesters.
Brian, what have you been up to?
I'm still reading a lot. I guess I'm getting used to this ebook thing, like just the tactile and the smell and all that kind of stuff. I never really liked ebooks all that much, but now that I have this kind of like infinite access to them, I'm really kind of knocking them out. Actually, have been reading Blood of Elves, which is either book 2, 3, or 4 in the whole The Witcher series. I'm not really sure what order they go in. And that's pretty neat. I actually like the characters in the video games, but this is also a lot more about like why. I mean, it's a book. It's obviously more in depth, so it's a lot more about like why they believe what they believe and everything. And one thing that I'm starting to like less about the video games now is the whole like morality system where you can be a snarky badass or a murderer or whatever, like kind of anti the true characters of the books, which bums me out a little bit. I made a lot of decisions incorrectly. I might have to replay those games, do it right this time.
That's cool.
Yeah. That is cool.
I'm pretty excited about this. I just got the email like 15 minutes ago, so I haven't started it yet. But Neuromancer?
Yeah.
Gibson? Not Gibson. Ginsburg?
I know the book. I don't know the...
Jesus, I'm drawing a blank on the author.
But
that's been on my list since the minute I got like the whole like Overdrive account, and that finally became available. So I'm really looking forward to reading that.
Sweet.
And that's about it. Some painting and things like that, but that's not too exciting and wholly unlinkable. So
again, Overdrive, there is a concept of like there's a certain number of copies in circulation, right? Not you can't just go there and grab an e-copy whenever you want.
Right.
So you get like a library card, and it belongs to a library system, and that library system, like for us it's Broward County Library. Broward County Library has certain number of copies in circulation, and then whoever has a library card can check out from that library. So I'm sure if you live somewhere else, maybe they have more copies in Portland or whatever.
Sure, yeah.
But
okay,
we're working through it, and I'm a little surprised at how many readers in Broward of like pretty
fantasy, sci-fi, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, pretty obscure books, like not mainstream stuff. But yeah, they're a hot commodity, man.
Sweet. That's encouraging. That's encouraging.
Pretty neat.
Hopefully, one of many bloated government programs to be cut
by Commandant Trump.
Oh wait, I'm leaning one way or the other here. I'm totally neutral, so I didn't say any of that, folks. Pretend I did. Anything else, Brian?
No.
Okay, that brings it around to me. I have been consumed with work. I am. I don't know why my boss hates me, but she has decided that I need to head down to the office every day this week. And the office is, I live in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. The office is in Coral Gables. It's actually good to get down there with my coworkers and, work face-to-face. We're usually remote, and there's something to be said for face-to-face meeting now and then. But damn that commute. I have basically really the really only nerdy spin on it, besides the fact that I'm going to meet a bunch of other programmers to do programming stuff, is that I have really put Google Maps through its paces, and it is recommending route it's optimizing my route and telling me to change and do this instead of that. But the one
you driving?
I'm driving down. Yeah.
No more mass transit.
From here to
getting a jump on things.
What's that, Brian? I think I might have
getting a jump on things.
Well, since the mass transit will be going away anyway, that's true. I would like to take mass transit down, but because our transit system here is so like wholly inadequate, it would take me like over 3 hours to get down there.
Jesus Christ!
Yeah, to get from Fort Lauderdale to Coral Gables, which is an hour which is a hellish hour and a half drive, as it is. But that's assuming I don't miss any trains or buses along the way. So that's a bit of a tall order, and actually it's. Not only does our transit system suck, but then we went ahead and voted down some kind of a sound effect keeps chiming in.
Sorry about that.
That's all right.
I just put my phone on silent. It's my Mike Tyson's Punch-Out text alert.
Okay, all right. Anyway, yeah, the transit system in my county sucks, where Fort Lauderdale is, and then we voted down a penny sales tax, which would have done much to flesh out a better transit system. So I don't see it getting better anytime soon. All the more reason to leave. But turns out there's no free lunch. You're going to sit in traffic for an hour and a half at least to get from here to my office in the morning during rush hour. And like, I just want to die at the end of it every morning. It's terrible. And then and then to come back, it's the same routine. Like basically 4 hours of my day taken up by sitting in a car. And this happens. And again, the self-driving car can't get here soon enough. I hate driving.
I don't think that would make a 4-hour commute any better, man.
If I could read a book or actually just like have mobile Wi-Fi and work, like do anything besides have to like dodge my fellow motorists, it would be just as long, but it would be like as stressful, I think. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyway, apart from that, that's pretty much it. I got my replacement phone. Did I tell you guys about that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Paid my $200 deductible to get my phone replaced. It's here. I haven't had time to mess with it. They're sending me robocalls telling me I better send the old one back or else.
Okay. Jeez.
Yeah, so I better get on that. And apart from that, I got WrestleMania tickets too. I tell you that. WrestleMania is in Orlando this year.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah, Orlando, Florida, entertainment capital of the world. Where I was just this past weekend on my girlfriend was running. Well, sorry, my companion was running in a charity run. And here are the dogs again. And yeah, I got to get up there to cheer her on at the crack of dawn while she went on this race. So
sweet.
We made a Disney weekend of it. But anyway, yeah, WrestleMania will be up there next, I think, April, and I'm also going to be up there for the Star Wars Celebration thing. So a lot of big doings early next year in Orlando for me. I think that's pretty much it. No video games, no nothing, no fun. No fun. It's been terrific. The week's been terrific.
It's been huge.
It's been huge. Speaking of huge, Cam, Eddie, you got a huge batch of news for us in the news extravaganza segment?
I'm going to keep it short and sweet this week. I'll do a couple nerdy stories, and then we'll talk about the big story. Well, obviously, Trump elected president, so that shouldn't be news to anyone at this point. But as to the nerdy news, Stranger Things, have you guys seen that?
Yeah.
On Netflix?
That's a great show.
Big fan of the show. They've added 2 pretty big names for season 2. Do you remember Paul Reiser from Aliens and Mad About You?
Think that's a big name?
Well, I mean, he was a big name 15 years ago, right? But I mean, I guess like he's an 80s icon, I guess, so I guess it makes sense, right? But also Sean Astin.
Yeah.
Samwise, Goonies and all that. So they added those guys for the second episode. They also added some Danish kid, but I never heard of her. So, so I'm definitely looking forward to season 2 of that. You guys remember that episode of The Simpsons where I think Bart caught that 3-eyed fish that was like swimming
Blinky.
around. From the sewage or whatever the pond outside of Mr. Burns' factory or nuclear power plant.
Yep.
Well, apparently there are a lot of sea animals that are showing up with tons of, I don't know if you want to call them mutations or natural or otherwise. Yeah, and one of the main ones is are 2-headed sharks. And National Geographic just published a piece a couple of days ago that says that 2-headed sharks are in fact not only real, but they are super, super common now. They've been on the rise for quite a long time. And it's probably because of all of the shit that we've been putting in the ocean.
Well,
go ahead, Brian.
It's obviously not because of evolution, because if sharks need anything, it's fins.
They don't need another head. So, yeah.
Honestly, Cam, that sounds like a bunch of alarmist crap, and it sounds like you just want to put more regulations on business. And
I agree.
We're done with that now. We're done with that now. That America is great, so you can forget about it.
And the last piece of news I'll throw out there is the right now, as we speak, to sort of transition into our topic, there are riots, or not riots, I don't want to be alarmist either on that, but there are protests, strong protests going on in 7 cities across the country after, the day after President-elect Trump was given the nod for the next presidency.
Was elected like by a big enough margin
quite a wide margin, yeah.
Yeah, and so people. Okay, yeah, all right.
Yes.
There are protests, right? So anything else?
No, that's it.
Okay, let me get the nerdy spin out of the way first. Will we see? Did you guys remember the cringe-worthy "if you're not with me, you're against me" moment from Episode 3 of Star Wars? Or "you're my enemy," or whatever the hell that stupid crap was, where basically they were
reporting Bush.
No. Well, do you remember when Anakin, as Obi-Wan, are about to enter that half-hour wire foo fight on Lava Planet?
Yeah, when they're on
Anakin's like, "if you're not with me, you're my enemy." That was like George Lucas is like, "take that, Bush!" Jab at George Bush. Are we going to see an equally ham-fisted paraphrasing of some saying of Trump's in a future Star Wars movie?
I do remember that, yes.
So what do you think? Did you guys hear my question, or?
No, I didn't hear the question. What was it?
I think we got a little trenching going on.
What are they going to mangle in Episode 8 or 9 to poke fun at Trump?
Yeah, are we going to see something similar? Are we going to see a ham-fisted, dig at Trump in a future Star Wars movie?
Star Killer Base 2 is going to be called Huge. Oh my God, that's a huge Star Killer.
Oh man, I mean, look. Do we know what J.J. Abrams' affiliation is?
Yes.
He could be a Republican, right?
He's not.
I don't know.
He's not.
He's not fair expectations.
Oh,
there's zero chance he's. No. So.
All right, then there's always a shot. Well, but you know what? I mean, doesn't Trump have something to do with Disney and ABC?
He might have.
Sure, he has some kind of business dealings with them. It was different when it was just Lucasfilms.
He might have some kind of business dealings, but still.
I'm all for it if it's clever. Your candidate, my candidate. You should be able to poke fun at anybody if it's clever. Lucas just wasn't clever about it.
Yeah. I think ABC might have. I don't know where the Apprentice was on, but. Either way, I'm with Brian. If it's funny, it's funny. Who cares? But just don't do it because you're just being a jackass.
Yeah. We'll see. I expect a whole slew of shitty protest albums. Basically a 4-year temper tantrum in the media, etc. And mind you, I say this as somebody that didn't vote for Trump. So,
what's funny is that I knew in the back of my mind, but I was just hoping that all these stupid political posts would go away. But now it's just even worse. It's just a bunch of whining and just
right,
legitimized the conflict. If you don't want to call it hatred, that's fine, but it legitimized the rift. It's going to be this way for a long time.
Yep. Beat it, dogs. I'm doing a podcast. Out of here. Go on. We got the Republicans and Democrats fighting here. Go. Hey, make America great again in another room. Go. Okay. This isn't going to work. Anyway, yeah, I'm sorry, guys. Just 1 second.
No worries.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, I'm really. I'll try to again throw some kind of nerdy spin on it later, but for the moment, I'm just really. Well, I guess social media counts. It's technology. People are really making me sick. I did not vote for Trump. I am not a Trump supporter. I did not want this man to win the election, and that may alienate some voters. But he won, and so. I'm trying to see the silver lining in it. Maybe he'll do some things I agree with. Maybe he'll, moderate. I don't know. But then I see the temper tantrum fire up like it's 2000 all over again from the from the political left, and I'm like reminded why I hate being in their company.
I gotta pick on people again, and I apologize wholeheartedly for this to them and to you, Tom. But your social circle gets pissy when they don't like how a television show went.
Well, true. But I would count my. But my social circle doesn't riot. So I'll
no,
defend
I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying you said social media and your Facebook. Like, that's a Tuesday night for you.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, last night was a particularly bad Tuesday night.
Well, here's my question, guys. Okay, so what does the Venn diagram look like of people that put like overly obscenely dramatic Facebook posts on their timeline today? Like, oh my God, I've never been so ashamed of my country. I can't believe my kids are gonna, all kinds of shit like that. So that's one of the groups. The people that hate on the DC movies and the PC police mob mentality that who I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. What is that? What is that?
What's that Venn diagram? Is that just one big circle? I mean,
was it Da Vinci? Who was the artist who could like hand draw a perfect circle? It was one of the famous Renaissance artists. That is what it looks like. There is 100% overlap.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
People who introduce drama into an element no matter what.
Right.
They'll find something.
I mean, I just love that. It's like when and look, I'm not saying I don't care either way. I've voiced this many times. I mean, I called. Let's give credit where credit is due, guys. I'll pat myself on the back. Did I not say Trump was going to win 3 months ago?
You're like the only guy in America that actually expected that.
When Allison Hayslip was on, the guy was a runaway train. I just could tell. But the not saying that I wanted that to happen. It just whatever. And I'm not leaning either way. I voiced my opinion about politics. I'm completely apathetic. But it just kills me that okay, so if a conservative wins or a Republican wins, it's like, oh my God, the end of the world. What are we going to do? Our children can't look. What about the children? Our children can't look up to this guy. That it's the end of the world. I'm moving to Canada. But then when Obama gets elected or a liberal or whatever, then it's like, oh, well, you just have to take it, conservatives. You can't say anything bad about Obama, or you can't say anything bad about whatever. It's like, who are you? Like, you're so smart that you know better than anyone else. Obviously, there's 50% of the country that disagrees.
When you, I mean, okay, yay, I tie it in nerdily again. When you have the moral high ground, Anakin, don't try it. When your position is the default, when you claim the moral high ground, then yeah, I mean, how dare anybody go out in the streets and protest the election of the person you back, right?
Yeah.
And honestly, I was really trying to explain this to my companion earlier. I don't really disagree with the left wing on most things. I disagree with their just utter contempt for the other side. They completely dismiss. There are people right now, my personal friends, posting on Facebook that half of the country that voted for Trump are, to the man and woman, racist, bigot, nightmare people, and a percentage of them probably is there's a percentage that just voted for Trump. He's going to get rid of the Mexicans and Muslims, yeah. Which we know that, but is that the majority of them? I mean,
I don't think you need to be a majority to be representative. I've said this too for a long time. There's people I don't hang around with because I don't want anybody thinking I like them. Even if I just bump into him somewhere, I try to give him a couple of feet. No, I'm not with that guy. He's an asshole. Don't blame me.
Okay, Brian, but okay, fair point.
It's pretty fair portion this time around.
But the left has its own basket of deplorables, to borrow that.
Absolutely, but that doesn't change anything. Of course, everybody has their assholes. There's terrible people on every single side, both sides, 3 sides, 5 sides. Doesn't make any one of them any better. Well, and saying, well, the left is just as bad, doesn't make this any easier to swallow.
Yeah, and nor should it. I mean, I'm not suggesting that it should. I'm just saying like basically you can't the bad apples in the bunch shouldn't spoil the whole bunch, I guess. I always have
time immemorial.
But you can't, right? We have a two-party system, which means you're voting, like, sadly, I vote for a third party and everybody thinks I'm some kind of a kook. But we have a two-party system, so you're either in with one group of dipshits or another. Like, and they're part of your party and they voted for the same president as you, so you're their fellow traveler, whether you care to be or not.
I mean, did you see Rachel Maddow said that what she said about people who voted for third parties? She basically said, if you vote for somebody who can't win for president, it means that you don't care who wins the presidency. And I don't agree with that. Tom, it's funny when you first told me that you were voting or whatever, that independent or third party. I was like, I kind of thought like that as well. But then I had an interesting conversation with my dad, who is funny. Like, my dad is so funny. Like, he's just a weird guy. Like, he's very smart. He's super charming. He's a great guy, but he's just got these like weird views sometimes. And I was like, oh, so did you vote? And he was like, yeah, I voted, third party. And I was like, really? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, why? He goes, well, if they get at least 5%, then they get more funding for next year or for next election. And that made a lot of sense to me. I was like, wow, that's like an actual, like, really like logical reason to do that. You know what I mean? Because it has to start somewhere, right?
Any other year, I would totally agree with you. Any other year, I would totally say, like, we just need to, like, inch the system forward. This year, like, I honestly believe me, voting for Hillary was a bitter pill for me to swallow. I hated it, but God damn, y'all, do you know what we've done?
I know what I've done, and
I still think that's a bit dramatic, though, Brian. I don't think. I'll
get really dramatic on you later because we've probably doomed the race.
The human race?
With his energy policies and us crossing that threshold in September, we may never come back from this. We may actually like warm the planet and make it uninhabitable.
So you don't think there's any chance that he actually is at even mediocre?
I mean, sure, there's a chance. I'm just saying, like, everything he's told us to expect, this probably isn't going to be good. And I don't know why you would, like, just take the chance. Well, I don't know why you just, like, nah, let's see what happens.
Well, I want to make...
Literally, that's Russian roulette.
I want to make 2 points. Actually, I want to answer those 2 points that were brought up. One, about Cam's dad. His thinking is actually in line with mine, pretty much 1-to-1. I wasn't voting for just this election. I was voting to like build momentum for future elections because I don't think the fate of the nation necessarily hinges on one presidential election. I have a little more faith in our system than that. Now, I will say that with exception to climate change, I really do think we're at a pretty crucial time. And the thing that I most despise about Trump is the fact that he thinks climate change was made up by the Chinese so they could get better deals, whatever the hell that means. And the fact that he so I find that objectionable about Trump, but I had very little faith that Hillary Clinton was going to be the climate crusader that Sanders probably would have been and that Obama was to a certain extent. I did not think that Hillary was going to carry the country. She was posturing as the successor to Obama, but remember, people forget the acrimony between them and how at odds they were and how Obama stole her chance to be president. She was going to do the bidding of like the same, like, and Cam, please forgive me, I'm going to sound a little anti-corporate for a second, but the same corporate movers and shakers who exercise undue influence on our democratic process.
But Donald Trump shares that acrimony with mankind.
I don't. He's an ass, Brian. But basically, I want to hope that under that that asshole persona, there's somebody who gives a shit about the country. I can't.
I understand wanting to hope that way. You have no evidence whatsoever to believe that way.
Well,
and I'm a little shocked that like such learned people are. I mean, this is faith. This is faith, pure and simple.
No. Brian, hold on. I did not vote for him. It is not faith. It is as I put it a few times today, talking to people. I am digging through a pile of shit, trying to find a nugget of hope. So,
well, I mean, you know my view, Brian. I mean, I think regardless of who won, we're fucked. It's just how we get fucked. You know what I mean? You want it in the mouth, or you want it in the ass.
How bad?
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it matters. I'm just saying, to me, I sort of think maybe I am an optimist. Maybe I'm looking the other way, like, sort of what you were saying, as like a known quantity against an unknown quantity. You know what you're going to get with 4 years of Clinton. You're just going to get the same old shit. You're going to get the same fucking bullshit. Oh,
yes.
At least Trump, maybe there's that spark of hope.
What's that, Brian?
I'm
How
pretty
unhappy
unhappy.
are you with that? I mean,
with
I'm
Clinton?
pretty unhappy.
With 4 more years?
It's not 4 more years of Obama, though. 4 more years of Obama would be one thing, but Obama took the ship off course. The Clinton course was basically, well, we hate Bush. We sure do hate those Republicans. Check it out as we implement pretty much all of the same policies. If you actually look at the course the country took, and Jesus, how does this not disturb people? The first Clinton presidency, the first Bush presidency, then the first Clinton presidency, then the second Bush presidency, the trajectory was pretty steady through all those presidencies, and it was one that took us to a point where for the middle class and working person in this country, things kind of suck. And I had no reason to think that the next Clinton in office was going to deviate from that in the least. Obama was an anomaly. Obama was a foil.
I know I'm not trying to blame you personally, either one of you or anything like that, but you really think Trump's going to be less of an anomaly?
No. Obama was good in that he was an anomaly. Trump is also going to be an anomaly, and he might be terrible, but at least he's a change. I didn't vote for him. I want to say that again. I did not vote for this man.
Let me ask you this, Brian. Are you better off today than you were 4 or 8 years ago?
It's not a fair question because there's context to that. Like, am I better off financially? No. Am I better off personally, spiritually? Yeah, I am. I think this whole "Make America Great" thing again has really bothered me because America's pretty fucking great.
Oh, I don't agree with. I don't disagree with that. I think America's still the best country in the world, but I think I personally am not better off now. Well, in terms of adversity of what I had to face in terms of certain other things, but I am better off, but in spite of the president, not because of. If that makes sense. I've
been treading water basically through the entire Obama presidency. I am still in a let me how do I put this? While the banks and the authors of the last massive financial shit show we endured as a nation have moved on with their lives, I continue to live in a place that is not worth as much as I owe on it. Okay? Have you heard of the lost decade in Japan? You may have heard of it, where there was this total economic... Yeah, I've had my own personal lost decade, most of which was presided over by Obama. Now, I'm not saying it was for lack of trying, but if you want to look at who stymied Obama's efforts, we could say the congressional Republicans, the very same congressional Republicans who support a lot of the policies that Clinton...
So we give them all the power?
No. There's no we here. I didn't vote for...
There is a we. Ultimately, we're all responsible for this. I accept responsibility, too. We're in this boat together. I mean, whether you want to be or not, whether you voted for it or not.
So do you think that the average person in Pennsylvania, in Ohio, in one of the states where there is no economic recovery, where all of the quote-unquote blue-collar jobs are just gone, do you think they voted Trump in thinking, yeah, he'll be just like Mitch McConnell. He'll vote right along the lines of all my favorite congressmen. No, they voted him in because he said crazy shit like, yeah, it's not fair that you should have to compete with, that you're a person at one end of the economic spectrum, and you should have to compete with, factories and such bringing in folks from Mexico and exploiting them for substandard wages. I'll build a wall.
Trump has never in his life been that coherent. They voted him in because he found an other for them to hate.
Some of them did, Brian. I will concede that some of them is like, he doesn't like Mexicans. Hell, I don't like Mexicans. Yeah. And he's
Mexicans, Muslims, gays, women.
Trump has been shockingly moderate on gays. Like, I have to say, I don't believe he is a cultural conservative. I think he's a New York liberal at heart when it comes to that shit. The Muslims thing was idiotic. And I really can't. I'm not even going to. It sounds like I'm defending him. I'm not going to defend that. That was abominable. And I hope like somebody in his cabinet sits him down and is like, yeah, we actually cannot like exclude an entire, like a third of the world's population from our society, because of a few crazies. But on that, Brian, that was indefensible. He needs to just go do a 180 on that shit. But I'm just trying to say, like, the way he appeals to. Cam was asked. I think the reason Cam was driving at when asking how you're doing now versus 8 years ago, there are people who are doing worse. Like the recovery never touched them. They're down and out. Nobody's got anything for them.
I'm unemployed. I haven't worked in 2 years.
Well, then I mean, what did
my industry disappeared? Believe me, I know. I mean,
so you
everybody said this for Bush, and everybody said this for Bill Clinton. I don't know why no one's saying it for Obama. The president doesn't control the economy.
Right, but Obama...
So I'm economically worse, and it's Obama's fault?
Well, Obama... So this is the other thing. Presidents do themselves no favors when they run with implicit promises of fixing the economy.
Obama ran on, I have a long-term solution to spend our way out of debt.
And I'm going to stop sea level rise and other things. Like he made some promises.
I mean, the only here's the thing about Obama, right? So Obama did several things that were good. I mean, and he was absolutely a champion for the environment, which I respect.
Yep.
And he did a couple other things which were decent. But other than that, he's run up the debt to astronomical levels.
Well, you do that when you were voting.
He has. Well, I mean, he hasn't created
I know you
jobs.
didn't vote, but
yeah. Well, I mean, but that was the idea behind that was it was going to do something for the economy. It was going to stimulate the economy. It was going to create jobs. It was going to create change. He ran on change, and he won twice on "I'm going to change things." What did he change?
Healthcare.
He didn't change anything. Yeah, he put a bloated healthcare system into place that's falling apart, a fucking around its hinges. You know what I mean? Like
unemployment's 1/3 of what it was when he took office, isn't it?
Yeah, but again, Brian, that's you can't credit that to him because you just said the president doesn't control the economy, so you can't credit the economic recovery to Obama, right?
Well, then how can you? If you can't credit the recovery, you certainly can't blame the downside.
No, unemployment is down, but wages are also down. So people are taking lower,
shit jobs.
Basically lower paying jobs. Yeah, shitty jobs.
Brian, I'm not saying that the people who voted Trump in based on his promises understand that the president doesn't have like buttons that control the economy. I mean, everybody thinks the president has buttons that controls the economy. That's why every 4 years, presidential competitors, crow about the economy. Like, I will fix the economy. Like, the economic cycle is largely, politics have an influence on it, but there's some stuff that just cannot be helped. I mean, you could argue that Congress probably is the bigger culprit there at allowing malfeasance of the kind that wrecked the economy last time. That's my opinion. I may be off base, Cam. What do you think?
I mean, I don't know.
You want to remain neutral? Okay.
Yeah.
But you're just agreeing with me at that point. You're right. Hillary wouldn't have been any worse for the economy.
Hillary, I guess at the end of the day, the president is definitely your figurehead and can stand up to and single-handedly veto objectionable action by Congress, right? So I mean, I'm not trying to paint the president as powerless. I'm just saying, like, in terms of what they represented, Hillary represented the status quo prior to Obama, which sucked. Now, Obama was, in my opinion, or tried to be an agent for change, and to Cam's point, made some changes which were not perfect. Hillary, like, flat out, like, there was no reason to believe that she was going to do anything but return us to basically the Bush era.
Now, I will say this. I was a lot better under Bush than I was Obama. I would have been all right if Hillary had done that.
So was I.
But Trump's going to return us to Reagan, guys. I mean...
The economy actually was really good under Reagan, too. But
yeah.
I guess it depends on what... Did you guys ever see Dark Crystal? Here's a nice nerdy spin. Remember Dark Crystal, the Muppets movie that had like the Skeksis and the Eloy or whatever the hell they were called? I wouldn't say that either of the parties are the like pure good guy race, but I feel like that's like our political system. We have these two sides that are like, they both have their good attributes. And if we could just merge them together, like at the end of Dark Crystal, we could have like the super party. You know, on one hand, you know, if you're down and out, we'll help you. On the other, you know, don't stick your hand out. Try to make it on your own. You know, like if we could just bring all of these views together under one tent, I feel like we could have a perfect society. You know what I mean? Of people not looking out for one another, but also looking out for their self-interest, balancing that.
In a way, I think you're talking about our country being the greater whole and our political parties being the two halves of that need to come together for harmony or whatever.
Yeah.
And I absolutely agree with you because like I just said, I absolutely believe this is a great country. And no, it's not economically where I would like it to be. It's not, you know, foreign relations where I like it to be. It's probably still the best one on the planet. And that's pretty great. I mean,
we're doing all right as countries go. I
don't get where we get this doom and gloom shit. Like I don't get where homicides are up. No, they're not. Crime is up. No, they're not. Mexicans are rapists. No, they're not.
Okay, I'll add to that, Brian.
Pure hatred.
I'll add to that laundry list of generalizations. White people are evil oppressors. Like
again, hatred, fear.
Yes,
fearfulness.
Yes.
This is fucking mind control.
I almost wonder if the race, gender, and identity politics are not like engineered by people to distract us from like real issues. Because at the end of the day, Mexicans are not rapists, as a rule. White people are not like to the man and woman like racist oppressors. People of other religions aren't like don't mean harm to Americans. But I think people in either camp, in one of the two camps, like firmly believe these things to various extents. Sadly, like there are Trump supporters that definitely think that, you know, certain groups of people are evil. And as I am continuing to see on my Facebook as we record this, there are Trump opponents who think that 50% of the country are like Klan members who voted in Trump. So that's where we're at. That's where the country's at right now.
That kind of emotional, irrational fearfulness, I don't care if you're white or black or brown or anything like that, for a long time, we were becoming more civilized, more together, more global, thinking about the stars, thinking about, you know, humankind. And this election, at least in our country, has very much made it us and them. Someone is them and someone is us, and it changes depending on who you're talking to. But it's all about hatred.
Yeah, but it doesn't have to be. I mean, I'm not just saying this to make myself sound awesome, even though I am kind of awesome. When Obama took power, I didn't vote for the man. He sounded like kind of a flim-flam man to me a little bit. Like he was talking this good game, but I didn't see how he was going to
probably
deliver.
Racist, actually.
I don't think Flim Flam. No, let me look that one up. I don't think Flim Flam is racist, but it's sorry. I think the term is problematic. Flim Flam. Man, please don't be something related to race. Don't. No, I think I'm good.
Okay.
I think I'm okay on that one. Anyway, Obama struck me as a little disingenuous and a little optimistic. But when he was elected, here we had the first African American president. He was this young, youthful guy. He was kind of nerdy, which I liked. I gave him a shake, and I grew to like him over time. You know, and this is a man I didn't vote for. Here we have another man I didn't vote for, who, on the surface, appears to be
the opposite of that. He's a bully, and he's anti-intellectual. That's the wrong step.
I'm trying to see past that. I'm trying to see what the good in this may be, because the man was elected. And I don't think we gain anything by marching in the streets, protesting against the duly elected commander-in-chief of our army, et cetera, et cetera. Now the new hashtag. Do you guys remember "Not in my name"? The big Bush.
Yeah.
But what is that? That's them creating an us.
Yes. Well, they have already done it. The new one is "Not my president."
Still us and them. I still hate it.
Yeah.
And for the record, I'll go right now. Trump, my president. Like I said, we're responsible for this.
Right.
Don't like it? Can't help it.
Where's the birth certificate? Like, people forget how outrageous that shit sounds when you're on the other side. Like,
people are stupid.
They really are. I mean, they really are stupid. God. Even Trump finally conceded that Obama's a legal citizen. So, there's hope that people can come around. Even Trump. Oh, God. Cam, you've been kind of quiet there. You just taking all this in?
Yeah. I mean, I think the dead horse has been beaten.
Yeah, all right. I could rant about this forever, but shit. All right, nerdy spin. Can I think of another one? Yeah, okay. All right. We'll go back to Star Wars again. And from my point of view, the Jedi are evil. We don't really have a Sith Jedi dynamic going on here, do we? I mean, I think if you're on one side or the other, you're definitely considering yourself the Jedi. But does leaning more towards like personal, self-reliance and less government assistance make you evil? Does leaning more towards a government that takes a more active role in your life and creates a social safety net make you evil? Or does it just mean you have a difference of opinion?
It means you have a difference of opinion, but I think there's a Palpatine here. I really think there's something lurking in the shadows unseen.
It's not Trump, though, right? It's some unseen agitator.
Well, obviously the fucking figurehead's not unseen. I mean,
yeah, okay, but he's the face of what's going on behind the scenes. Who do you think's like secretly manipulating things? Like some.
I mean, if you wanna like oversimplify and call it like corporate America, fine. I know some crazy people call it New World Order, but it's basically like the whole 99% 1% thing. Like, there are people who benefit from keeping everyone else poor and uneducated and on their fucking cell phones bitching about something 24/7.
That's a good point.
Illuminati, man. Illuminati.
And it always has been. There's a reason that fucking concept is 2,000 years old.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
If you want an us, hate them.
Yeah.
Hate each other.
That's true. If we can identify who they are, maybe we are them. Maybe we elevate these people to power so that they can validate our justified fears and of the other or some bullshit, maybe the reptiles are controlling us behind the scenes or some crap.
No idea.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, political rant over. This is an unprecedentedly honest episode of the Nerdstravaganza podcast.
Yeah. Promise next week we will not talk about politics anymore.
By now, I hope you all know that we are, strict partisans here.
Yeah.
I didn't vote for Trump. I'll say it one more time. Just so nobody thinks I did it. That's one thing. Do I sound like a Trump supporter, guys? Be honest with me. Do I?
You're taking like devil's advocate. You necessarily sound like a Trump supporter,
right? Because I'm not like.
I mean, the show would suck if you were just like, "Yeah, Brian, get him." Like,
yeah, I feel like the fact that I'm not out like burning him in effigy means I must be a supporter in a lot of people's eyes. But
you still got time to join the protest.
No thanks. I couldn't take all the. No, all right, I'm going to stop. Okay, there is no stopping the dogfight going on behind me. I'm sorry for all the claw noises you hear.
Nice.
And there's also no stopping the Nerdstravaganza podcast, regardless of who is president, until such time as laws are passed that ban podcasting.
I might not be on next week.
Uh-oh.
Going on this record, y'all might not see me for a while.
Oh, that's true.
You mean Canada?
No, I ain't getting called in.
Trump might disappear him. Like Trump's going to lock up. Is he still going to lock up Crooked Hillary, or is everything buried now that he won?
I will say this, and it fucking terrifies me. I saw posters just like on trees and on lampposts and shit like that, like lock her up, and like overnight, as soon as he won, people put those things up.
Jesus. So that's going to be the first thing they want to lock her up for her emails or whatever.
I mean, that doesn't mean anything. That just means they're ignorant. But, I mean, Trump's not beholden to do that or anything. I doubt, he even saw the posters. But
well, I know what he did. I know what he did see. This is kind of a funny story to round it out before I do the farewell. Last night, or was it Tuesday or whatever? We're all at work. We're like on this road, and there's traffic going on. We see it out the window of this office we're working in at work. And toward the end of the night, it's getting like we're like within an hour of the polls closing, and this guy goes by with a lock her up, go Trump, like this. Basically, his pickup truck converted into a mobile like propaganda machine on wheels.
Oh my god! Yeah.
And he's got somebody in the back like ringing a bell, like ding 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 ding, and it's like lock Hillary for jail, lock her up, go Trump, like all this stuff. And I'm thinking to myself, well, you're not. It's like the last hour. Like at this point, you're not having an effect. Nobody's like going to the poll, and like I don't know, and then you roll by in your truck and they're like, I'm going for Trump.
Yeah.
But I like to think that guy's at a barbecue or something today, like like showing everybody pictures of his truck and beating his chest, like, yeah, pretty much nailed it.
Turn the tide.
yeah. So, good job, truck bell guy. You definitely turned things in favor of Trump, which was your desired outcome. But not mine, I want to say one more time. And with that said, and to get back to what I was saying before, the Nerdstravaganza never stops. We're here every week, no matter who is in power. And we are nonpartisan most of the time. So why not check us out every week on iTunes, Google Play Music, don't tell me, Pocket Cast, I got it, and Stitcher.
Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and Instagram, add us to your Google circle, and join the Nerdstravaganza HQ group on Facebook.
Cast yourself on over to nerdstravaganza.com and check out our brand new shiny website for your viewing pleasure. Pull yourself on over to YouTube and check out this and all of our other video content, and send us an email at nerdstravaganza@gmail.com and let us know what you think about Crooked Hillary and crazy Trump.
Hashtag not my podcast.
Yeah.
With that said, Brian, take us away.
We've got the best hatred. We've got huge hatred. Tremendous hatred.
It's bigly hatred.
Bigly hatred.
Oh, man.
Goodbye, everybody, and
God bless.
Yeah. Go America.
Good luck.
Good night and God bless. Good night and God bless.
Yes. Goodbye.